because I knew that that topic would naturally come up because that's what the movie was about. Like, oh, would you ever want a foster kid? Do you think that you could love the child unconditionally? Things like that. So that's how I broached the topic with my spouse. Hi, it's Misty Eyes, and I'm here with an Ask Misty. And this Ask Misty is my first real Ask Misty on Telegram. I'm not 100% certain that I like Telegram yet, but that might be my new platform to ask anonymous questions. This is from a concerned parent, and the question is, my son came running down the stairs today wearing a tutu and singing, I don't know the song, singing a girl song. And the mom is freaking out. And I believe she asked, is my son gay? Is he trans? How do I tell the father? And I think the other question was, how do I make him stop? And maybe it said something like, how do I ask him? I have to double check. First question, is my son gay? He came down the stairs wearing a tutu. That's a very valid question. That is a very valid question. But no, putting on a tutu does not make you gay. Putting on a tutu or putting on a dress does not make you gay. The funny thing is, though, I used to put a towel on my head when I was little and pretend it was my long hair. My grandma used to have pictures of me standing in the corner when I was in trouble, and I have a towel on my head every time. Like, literally, I don't remember this, but every picture of my grandma had of me, I had like long towel hair. So that kind of touched my heart a little. But no, putting on a dress, singing a girl song, putting a towel on your head, pretending you have long hair does not make you a girl, and it does not make you gay. It does not make you anything. It means you have an imagination and you're playing like a child. I don't know if you said, but they probably have siblings and they're playing with their siblings. And just as if your daughter put on a cop uniform and wanted to play cops and robbers or whatever, who cares? Let your kids play. Now, as a concerned parent, I will say this. In mental health, when you're working with children, the words are consistent, insistent, persistent. So, is your child wearing a towel on their head consistently? Are they consistently insistent on wearing a dress to church or refusing to wear a skirt to church or whatever? So those are the things you start to pay attention to as a parent. You watch, you observe, you take notes. You watch. Do not ask your child if they are gay. Do not ask your child if they are trans. And the reason I say that is because if your child is ashamed, they're going to lie to you. And if they lie to you, it's going to be 10 times harder for them to come out when they're ready. So don't pressure them into telling you something they're not ready to tell you. Just watch, just observe. And it's funny because I have 2 brothers and 4 sisters. One of my brothers came to Florida with his wife and their kids. And his wife was asking me all kinds of questions, like blah, 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 blah. And my brother was like, yeah, I always knew she was a girl. And I looked at him because I didn't know that he knew. And I was like, what? How did you know I was a girl? And he goes, every time we played Nintendo, you were the princess. Every time. Back to consistent, insistent, persistent. I was persistently, apparently, the princess. I don't remember this. But it probably wasn't just Nintendo. He was probably talking about every game. But apparently my brother was aware of the fact that I was always the girl in every situation that we played, every game. So apparently I was consistently, insistently, persistently the girl in every situation. I was always the mom. I was always the nurse. I was always The princess. And it's true. I remember in school, I didn't realize that I don't think I realized I was actually a boy. So I remember like in kindergarten and first grade and stuff, getting in trouble all the time from teachers telling me I can't do things. Like, Misty, you're the boy. You're not the mom. Or whatever. Like the teachers were the bullies when I was little. They were part of the problem. But anyways, I remember getting in trouble all the time and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Like it didn't make sense to me. Again, this was 100 years ago. Very long. Um but yeah, consistent, insistent, persistent. So what do you do now? So if you are aware that there could be a situation, again, playing dress up once is not anything to be worried about. Your child has a healthy imagination. They're actively playing with their siblings. Yes, straight boys play with Barbies with their sisters. If another boy walks into the room, they might freak out and get embarrassed and throw the doll down and pretend like they weren't doing it. But if they're consistently, insistently, persistently playing with Barbies, or always the princess, and or always the mommy, and or always the nurse, then maybe you have something on your hands. Now, don't ask them. Let them tell you. However, I was talking to a parent at one of the support groups, and she had a similar question, but it wasn't a "is he gay" question. It was more like, "I have a queer child," and I don't remember if what letter it was, LGBTQIA plus plus, but it was definitely like, "I have a queer child. What do I do? How do I tell them I love them?" Blah blah blah. So what I had said was, again, I told them, don't ask, but be very careful about giving them rejection messages. So, for example, take them to the gay neighborhood for lunch. Hey, we have to go to the bank, we have to go to Target, whatever, and then the gays are around, and you see two guys in a gay neighborhood holding hands or whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at that. Honey, that is so sweet. And when the child sees your affirmations, and sees you not giving that couple rejection behavior and you're actually applauding them, like, baby, look, they have the courage to love each other in public even when the world doesn't understand their love. That's going to let that kid know that you don't find that disgusting. That's going to let that kid know that you are a safe place. Now, it's not going to happen that night. It probably won't happen that week. But if you keep letting them know that every time you see something on a movie, or again, visibility is super important. So if you see a movie like, for example, Buzz Lightyear, whatever, and there's a lesbian montage where I don't even remember if they actually kiss, but they might kiss in the lesbian montage. I don't remember, but there's a 30-second montage. Like, oh, that's so beautiful. They found love. Give that visibility, empowering words, and that kid will know you're not judgy. But if every time you see something queer and you're like, oh my God, that's disgusting, they're never going to tell you. They're never going to feel safe. They're always going to be ashamed. And how can you stop them? I went back and looked at your question. How can you stop them? You can't. I'm so sorry. You cannot. Being gay or straight is something in your DNA. And being trans happens between the second and third trimester in the womb. Both sexual orientation and gender identity happen before you're born. There's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to correct it. Worst case scenario, you shame the child into the closet and they become depressed and hate themselves. Or they're surrounded by embracing behavior and they learn to love themselves. And the sooner you catch things, the easier their life will be. So, girl, how to tell the father? I don't know this man. I don't know if you're still together. I don't know anything about that situation. So, you're going to know how to do that. But I don't know that it needs to be done right away. Sincerely, I don't know. And I will also say, when I wanted my husband to consider fostering, I rented a couple movies that I knew had foster kids in it because I knew that that topic would naturally come up because that's what the movie was about. Like, oh, would you ever want a foster kid? Do you think that you could love the child unconditionally? Things like that. So that's how I broached the topic with my spouse. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to tell you to tell the father. But I do think as a mother, you should love your child regardless. And a lot of times parents welcome children into the world and they want mini me's. Like, my child's going to be a cheerleader. She's going to be on the swim team. She's going to be the most popular girl at school. But the reality is, our kids are going to show you who they are. It's up to you to love them and accept them for who they are. And if you know, sweetheart, you're going to be a doctor. You're not a dancer. You're a doctor. That kid will start to resent you. And you don't want that either. So I don't know. You may have a situation on your hands, but honestly, you probably don't. It's probably just a kid running down the stairs with a tutu, unless it's happening a lot. And then I would definitely get therapy for the child because they're going to need to talk to somebody. However, they felt safe enough at home to do that. There's so much rejection messaging out in the world today. I'm sure that they are aware that they would be bullied if somebody saw them and they felt safe in your presence to do so. But that was my first, I forgot even the name of the app. Telegram, is it Telegram? But that was an Ask Misty. Thank you so much. Loving you, Zizi.